welcome my co-host for the evening as well. Maybe give a quick intro. Parth, welcome to Mosaic 2025.
Yeah, hi, this is Parth. I am like a lot of you. I think we are here and there and on the globe. I'm dialing from Europe, Berlin, and I've been part of the TPF journey since long, almost 6 years now. It has been fun. I also work as a product person in a fintech called Klarna in Berlin. Yeah, that's a bit about me, and yeah, always up to chat anything product, tech, community, startups. So shoot me.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Parth, for joining in from Berlin. Folks, I'm tuning in from SF Bay Area, and I know a lot of y'all are joining in from across the globe. I think backstage on the other chat, while you all were joining in, we were asking folks from where exactly are you guys joining in from across the globe, and it was so interesting to see all the cities you guys are coming in from. Um, now that we have almost everyone tuned in already, one thing we'd like to do is maybe walk you guys through an agenda of what to expect in one today's session, two what to expect over the next 2 weeks, and really excited to see all the products you guys are going to be building as part of this buildathon. Right. Let me kick off with today's session. What we have in store for you is over the next 15-20 minutes, maybe give you a little bit of a heads up on what to expect, right? So what we will do is we will walk you through a little bit about the product folks journey. I know some of our community members are new. Then what we'll do is we'll share a little bit about the Buildathon Mosaic, right? Who's joining in, who our partners are, who are the workshop speakers, where you're going to be learning in from. Then of course we have a very special guest joining us for this kickoff. Many of y'all know him already. Some of y'all will learn more about him. And if you have any questions from him, we do have a Q&A section. So please do drop your questions in the chat. There's a special Q&A tab. Drop it there. Others can upvote. And we promise you, we will take up some of the most upvoted questions there, right? Post which, there are some housekeeping rules. We have lots and lots of credits from our partners for all of y'all. I know all of y'all have been trying to use some of these AI tools. And through the community, we've got you some of these exclusive credits. So we'll share the process on how you can redeem some of that. I know some of y'all had questions around the Buildathon in general, right? So Parth and me will stick around post the fireside. So we'll request all of y'all to stick around another 15-20 minutes, since this is the kickoff. If y'all have any questions around the Buildathon, and it could be any questions, right? We both are here for you. We'll walk you through each and every part of that, right? So is everyone ready? Drop it in the chat. Let's get started. I do see a couple of reactions coming up on the screen as well. So really excited to see you guys join this Buildathon and getting right started. Awesome. Like Parth mentioned, I think the journey to kicking off and building product, folks, has been a long one. Some of y'all have seen it right from the beginning. This started, like Parth mentioned, almost 5.5, 6 years ago. Back in, I'd say, May of 2020 or May of 2019, in fact, right? Where it started with one small event in Bangalore in India. Moved on, did a ton of initiatives. I think the journey is long, so I'm not going to cover each and every single initiative. But post that, I think, did a ton of initiatives across online education. We today host over 300 meetups across the globe every single year, right? So from one single event in Bangalore in 2019, today we're across 28 cities globally. So in case you guys are joining in from a city, do check out Grab Chai, which is happening in your particular city. So lots of offline events happening. And in case it's not happening in your city already, DM us. We'd love for you to kickstart a chapter with us, right? So lots of stuff on the offline bit. On the online side, we do a ton of online initiatives and then learning sessions for our community that are completely free. Feel free to join in, learn alongside. We do a ton of mentorship in the community as well. So post-learning, if you guys want access, please do join the Slack community, where you can reach out to senior people in the community, jam with your peers on what they're building, and learn how interesting products are built across different startups, different companies. Apart from mentorship, we also have a very interesting opportunities section, and it's probably one of the most active channels on the Slack. So in case some of y'all are looking out for new opportunities, check this out. Um, Two or three initiatives that I'm very, very proud of, I'd say. I know it's been a long journey and it's a completely exciting one. One thing I'd like to say is, this is a volunteer-driven community, and none of this would have been possible without the effort of everyone working behind the scenes to put this together. So, in case you find any of our TPF volunteers on the chat section, do give them a shout out. I think they've been putting nights and day to make this happen behind the scenes, right? So that's just one shout out. There are a lot more initiatives we do. I know we don't have probably time to cover it in today's session, because we want to keep it super focused on the buildathon. But if any of y'all are interested, please do check out the website. If y'all want to join the team or volunteer with the team, please do reach out to us. And like I mentioned, lots of exciting initiatives, which we will tell you as Mosaic progresses on, right? But anything you want to add? What was your most favorite initiative at the product folks?
I think maybe the true housekeeping is you should just first sign up on the productfolks.com. So that's a start. In case you haven't, so you get all the details about what we are up to. What was cool? I think like a similar thing. I mean, years back we did this product boot camp, which was called Insurgo, uh, which was short for In Search of a Job, which we're helping a lot of people with. I think that was kind of when the first time we saw the scale of TPF, which was, I don't remember, 25K odd people joining for 5 odd weeks. That I would put as something atop, and where I saw the power of community for the first time really. And yeah, even now, every now and then I keep hearing that, hey, I was a part of this in Surge, as part of that, which is always great to hear, and just adds more meaning to what we do here. What about you?
Uh, Yeah, I think, like I said, I think the first time we hosted in Surge on the pandemic and having so many folks joining, I think that was super lovely. And I think the second bit is just in general how we've been bridging ecosystems. I think what's been really exciting is getting some of these senior leaders across the globe and getting access for our community. I think that has been probably the most rewarding, just from the feedback I keep hearing from participants. Right, so do lots more of these, but. Yep, almost our 6th-year anniversary together as well. So more on that coming on socials. A little snapshot for new folks joining us. For everyone else who's been part of the community, you probably have seen this for a while. But today we're a large global community. Definitely one of Asia's largest, but also one of the largest product communities globally. Um, Thanks for being part of the journey. I know some of you all have been there from the very beginning. It's been a ride, and I can assure you lots more exciting stuff coming. So if you guys are looking on how you can transition to become an AI product manager, or how you can pick up some of these tools while you're working, or just generally want to meet like-minded, interesting folks across the product community, do join any of these channels. In case you aren't following, there are lots going on within the community, so do participate. And yes, lots of exciting stuff coming your way. Right. Back to Mosaic. Before we kick off, I think want to definitely give a shout out to some of our partners without whom it wouldn't have been possible. We did put out a poll in our community, um, asking folks on who we should definitely get to partner for this initiative of us. And we've been able to cover most of the loved products that you guys shared. I know some of you all have already tried some of these tools, and like we were sharing, we've been able to partner with them, and without their support, none of this would have been possible. So huge shout out to each and every partner as part of this initiative. But also they've been really kind to share credits with the entire community. So many of you all have already signed up to our Buildathon platform, which is DevFolio. In case you haven't, you should have received a link in your emails. We will also share a link here on the chat section. Do join in, and you will be able to redeem most of the credits. Right. I will also probably, yes. Now comes the more exciting part. For what we shared earlier, we have builders from across some of the best AI companies coming and sharing their learnings with all of you. The schedule will be in your email shortly, but you will access these learning sessions exclusively on the platform that you are currently on, right? So as part of the Buildathon, yes, the goal is to come in with an idea to build something along with us over the next 2 weeks. And yes, it is a competition, right? But along the way, we thought, what if we could get you access to some of the best minds building AI products across the globe? And these sessions are all live, by the way, right? So I know these are folks joining in from different parts of the world. We have gone via the polls in the community that we created. So there are some topics that our community members wanted to learn from. And we reached out to folks from OpenAI, from Gemini, people who are very, very senior up at Walmart, at 11 Labs. And, we've been trying to get some of their knowledge, their learnings, because they've been at the middle of all of this for a long time, right? So, over the next few weeks, you will have access to these sessions. Please join whichever session you think might be interesting, and might contribute to your building journey, right? Post our kickoff session, we have a fireside that's lined up. Post that, we will definitely be taking up some of your questions as well. What I will do though is give you a sneak peek into what's coming your way over the next hour. Um,
Yeah.
Part with that,
Just one,
I,
just one thing
yeah,
I'd like to add. I think all these sessions that you see on the screen, like these are designed to be very very hands-on. So what we are expecting out of these sessions is that by the end of an hour or 90 minutes, you're going out with a takeaway where you have actually done something in those 60-90 minutes. So look at these sessions as very less theory. I think we have a lot of boot camps where we do cover theory. This is not one of those. This is like end to end build to help you really learn to build and actually build. And yeah, that's sort of the idea. And I'd highly recommend, I think, going for each of these sessions just to understand. And each of these sessions are kind of structured on the different parts of your building journey. So let's say the vibe coding stuff, the voice stuff, the eval stuff. So yeah, keep an eye. I think we'll walk you through the whole timeline in a while. That would also help you understand when what is happening.
awesome. Thanks so much, Pat. Um, Pat, I see a lot of questions around this in the chat section. So before we kick off with our special guest for this evening, uh, do we want to maybe walk people through some housekeeping rules? Do you think that would be interesting?
Yeah,
Or
let's do
maybe
that.
okay, awesome.
I think we have a few
Um,
minutes. Let's do that.
okay, let's do that. Awesome. Folks, so let me do one quick thing. I know there is a lot of questions on chat around this. So maybe just before we kick off our fireside chat, maybe take few minutes to just share this with you. Many of you all have already, and we had a ton of other people on the wait list. So yes, if you are seeing this live on our platform, congrats first of all for making it through the wait list. Second, um, we've already shared a link to the platform on which we will be conducting this buildathon. This platform is called DevFolio. You should have received a link. If not, we are going to pin it in the chat as well. This is a platform where you'll find all the information regarding the buildathon. Um, please do sign up. You will also be able to access some of the credits only via the platform, right? So this is definitely an essential step. We have tons of prizes, tons of credits for you guys to take away. Entering this session, especially at the kickoff stage, I'd love for all of y'all to start thinking, and some of y'all have already shared what y'all are building, but if not, start thinking about one interesting idea that is something that's been lingering on your mind for a long time now. And this is probably how you will all be able to ship with the community, right? So step one, if you haven't already, please do go up to DevFolio, follow the link. We will pin it to the chat section. I'll request maybe Nandini, Abhay, if you guys are around, please do pin this to the Airmeet or the YouTube chat section as well. Um, yes, if you have any questions around this, please drop me. I will be able to help you out here. Second, if you haven't already, please join the Slack channel. We have a community that is just for this particular cohort. As you join in, you will be directly on our Mosaic channel. If you are already part of the Slack, please go ahead and search for this channel and join in, right? You guys can also meet other builders from the same community, and maybe build products together as well, right? So meet other fellow builders, participate in upcoming stuff that's coming your way, right? So register on Devfolio, join the Slack channel if you haven't already. Third, on email before every single session, we've shared some of the pre-reads, right? In case you haven't gotten this, we're also going to be sharing it on the Slack channel. So please do join the Slack channel and you will be able to go through the pre-reads before every single session. Last but not the least, some of these invites and links might not be landing in your primary section, right? So maybe I will pause for a minute or two. If you can, please do go to your email inboxes and move the invites to your primary inbox, right? So I will pause for a minute or two, join the Slack channel, register on Devfolio, and give us a thumbs up on the chat section as soon as you've done this. We will probably take a minute or two, and I know, folks, you are probably sharing your LinkedIn links in chat as well. There will be ample opportunity for you to network post a session. We will be on AirMeet. We will be around here. So you can network live with other folks here. If not, you can always join the Slack channel and connect. Right? We probably have less than 5 minutes to kick off the fireside. So, Parth, if there are some questions from the chat section in case you want to take up, but I'd love to pause for a minute or two so people and keep this screen on so people can complete all the prerequisites before we kick off. Right? And folks, yeah, please avoid sharing LinkedIn links on the chat section.
Yeah, maybe whoever hasn't been able to navigate the Q&A section, you can go there. There are like a bunch of questions. You can upvote. We can start picking the top few ones. So the first one, easy. Hi, just want to know if recorded session will be available. It is. This is live on YouTube as well. We highly recommend you sort of attend it live, and that's because we have like a bunch of surprises planned for each of these sessions. But yeah, just from a, let's say, the angle of attending it later, you will have that option.
Awesome. Couple of questions. We have pinned the link to the Devfolio platform as well as Slack here. Some of y'all might not be able to join Slack because so many people are clicking the link at the same time. But don't worry. I think rest assured, in case you find an error right now, you can always come back to the link in a couple of minutes and join in. Another thing is on the codes bit, please join Devfolio link and you will get access to some of these tools. Another question is around, in case you missed this recording, in case you missed the live session, we will have an unlisted link on YouTube for the next week, right? So as long as the Buildathon is on, you can always access these resources. Just subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss out on a notification. Post that, we will be taking it off YouTube, and for everyone attending, you can also access it on our academy that's on the website, right? So you can always search for the product academy and you will have some of these resources there, right? But for the next 2 weeks, all of y'all will be able to access it. What else are there? Any other questions? Okay, folks, if there are any other questions, please drop it in the chat section and we'll be able to help you. We will maybe take another 2-3 minutes so that all of y'all can get through these steps. I know some of y'all are still registering on Devfolio, and in less than 5 minutes, I think, along with Parth, we both will be hosting someone very interesting for this kickoff. Yathat asked where can he access the pre-reads. Yathat, this will be available on the Slack channel once you join it. We will be dropping some of the pre-reads again there in a couple of hours so that you can access that, right? Ajay says he's got access only to Windsurf. Yes, that's right. All the participants will have access to 2 main tools, and some of these tools are then reserved for different stages. As you submit your application, you might get it's all on the platform that for joining in, you might get access to some of these. Once
Yeah.
you submit, you might get some access to other tools, right? So yeah, some of y'all might not be able to join Slack right away. um, yes, you will probably have to wait for a couple of more minutes. I think there's a huge wait.
We've also opened a poll on AirMeet where you can just confirm once you have joined Slack, and whoever is not able to, we can sort of solve for it.
Awesome. We have a question from one of our participants saying that once they submit a particular project, will they be able to change it? Absolutely. You can always try different ideas. The best part is we have access to tools like Rocket, Lovable, which give you an idea on how you can go from a very basic, just an idea with a single prompt into something that's fully functional, right? So you can always figure out, different ideas as you play along with some of these tools, right? Awesome. Now people are able to access it. And folks, if there are any more LinkedIn links, you unfortunately will be blocked from the platform from just moderation perspective, right? So just giving you a heads up, it is not my call. It's a message that I received from one of our volunteers. So just giving you all a heads up from our side. Awesome. With that, I see. Are there any other questions? Anything we can help you before
Yeah, I
getting? The
think
idea of this kickoff is exactly this: that we help each and every one of y'all onboard into the platform. Um, if you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to any of us. I think Parth and me are pretty accessible on Slack. Across any platform you find us, please DM us. We'll be able to help you. We also have a bunch of our volunteers very active on the chat that I can see. So if you find them, if you have any questions, please reach out to us. Yes, on Slack, um, because there are lots of you all trying to access the same link, you might face an error, but just bookmark the link and come back in a couple of hours. You are rest assured you'll be able to join this. I have one question that asks, okay, how many people can there be per team? Uh, the maximum number per team can be 3 people. So it's either most of y'all can build this individually or in pairs, but maximum per team is 3 per team, right? Uh,
yeah. The only catch is if you end up winning, the prize gets split in three. So there are both upsides and downsides to sort of team up.
yeah, like they say, right? I think the first step is winning it. So even with a team
Yeah.
of 3, if that allows you to uh, win it, go for
Maybe
it. But like Pat mentioned, if you can go all the way solo, go for it.
maybe let's just take a few more questions.
Sure.
Can students benefit from this? Lisa asked this 100%. I think the age of AI is without any age. So go for whatever stage you are at in your career, feel free to go about it. Uh,
Probably way more creative than we are as well, right? So every creative idea that you have, come in our Slack channel. We have, build nights that we're going to be doing. There's going to be a lot
yeah,
happening in that one Slack channel. So come along. And the best part is, doesn't matter where you're joining in from. One of us is going to be there 24/7, right? Like we're covering the globe. Like Pat mentioned earlier, he's joining in from Europe. I'm currently here in the US. We have a volunteer who's currently in Singapore. We have one of our volunteers in Dubai, and we started in India, so we definitely have lots of them across. So we're across the time zone. We can assure you that, um, yeah, this is truly a 24/7 community, right? So don't worry. Anytime you have anything, just drop it on that chat section. Some of us will be there to help you out. Right? On the Slack channel, folks, we acknowledged this earlier. I see a couple of more questions. On the Slack, please wait it out. There are lots of y'all trying to join at the same time, and hence it might not be available, but just bookmark this link and come back to it in an hour or two, right? So we will be updating the link with the fresh Slack invite. So don't worry about it. We've already addressed this. Awesome. Parts, any other questions that you see?
Yeah,
I see a
maybe
couple.
there are a few more. Let me refresh what's. Will we receive support during? I think Akshay asked this. Will we receive support during the building if we get stuck? Yes, of course. I think Slack is the center where you get all these things answered. Will there be a founder operator dating? Because there might well be a lot of quality apps coming out of Mosaic that will need real operators to make into a real company. I think 100%. I think the demo day is sort of built for that. Not just finding co-founders. I think this might just be a good place where we're getting VCs also to sort of look at those ideas. So it's on the cards. I think it's going to come organically. And yeah, for that, there needs to be some outcome coming and reaching till the demo day. And then I think Slacklink, all the prereads are there.
Yeah,
How can we access?
more on the chat section.
Yeah, let me answer for Soham. How can we access the premium versions of the AI tools? So in a bunch of these, like we're giving credits, which are let's say the pro tiers of these services. You get a lot more if you end up being. I think there are 13 odd winners in total. So depending on the tracks that you win, you might end up getting a lot more. But yeah, as any other buildathon, this the uh, top sort of participants get the pie. And let me mark this answered.
Awesome. Tried taking while Path was covering some of them. I tried covering a lot more on the chat section. If you need team owners, I know some of them have been sharing this. What we will do is on Slack, we will try creating a small poll for this. So you can definitely drop it on the Mosaic channel on Slack once you join in. There are others here as well who are looking for team members. So we'll start a thread, and everyone on that thread can just reply if you're looking for a team member, right? So we'll start that thread. Don't worry. We'll try doing that. Once you all join in today, we will drop that in tomorrow. Don't worry. Right. As soon as you're set. Lakhan asked, what time are we kicking off the Fireside? As soon as all of y'all are kickstarted on the platform. So give us a thumbs up if you've been able to, one, sign up on Devfolio. Okay, lots of thumbs up coming in. Does anyone else have any questions on the Buildathon? Anything on the timeline? Any questions on the platforms? Slack, yes, you'll probably have to just bookmark this link because some of y'all aren't able to join. So Slack, some of y'all who are asking the link, it is on the pinned chat. So don't worry, we will be able to you'll be able to join that in a bit. Don't worry, but please get in case you want access to the recording, just subscribe to the YouTube link so that you get access for the next 2 weeks. If you need access to Devfolio, the link is on your pinned chat, so please sign up right away. If you need access to the link, someone's asking links to the platform, you should receive it in your email. Just move it to the primary section. You can search it and move it to the primary section so you don't miss out, right? Someone asked if we get office hour slots with the speaker. Unfortunately, they will not be able to join you one-to-one, but you can definitely use the chat section here to interact with them. These are all live sessions, so they will be joining. Each of the speakers that we share will be joining in live, so you can definitely interact with them. Think of these as group officers, right? Awesome. Any other questions, folks? Awesome. Someone's asking in on the pre-read. Someone's asking in on multiple tracks.
Shall we go to the tracks piece?
Sure. I think tracks is up on the website, but also sharing this with all of y'all that there are 4 tracks that you guys can all build in. I think this was a question on the chat as well. Um, we have access that all of y'all will get access to credits from Levin Labs, so you can definitely check out and build your own voice agents, your conversational products. Right? I think all of us wanted a particular uh, app that we can voice journal into. There are lots of use cases you've been trying to play around, so we have enough credits for you to build your own platform. So that's coming your way once you sign up to Devfolio. By tomorrow you should have access on how you can access these credits. You'll all be receiving some credits to Rocket, and of course Lovable is something all of y'all have been maybe playing around. So we have a track on that's just white coding. So if you end up building on Rocket, you should be able to particularly participate in this track. And for some of y'all who haven't built products earlier, I think this could be a great way to get started, right? So you can play around with this tool. Again, access to this tool will be available on Devfolio in a bit. Um, Third track is AI agents and workflow automations. So some of you all might not be building end-to-end products, right? You might have come across some of these tools and you might be thinking, okay, hey, maybe I can use some of these AI tools to really automate some of my processes. So it could be an internal facing dashboard. It could be a very, very complex workflow that you end up building. I think we are very interested in that as well. The part of the buildathon is to build something useful, something functional, that a lot of people might be interested in, right? So it doesn't have to be an end-to-end consumer app per se, but this is a track that both parts and me are personally very interesting. So do check it out. You could also, that's also another one for people who aren't hands-on coding. This could be a track that you could participate on. And like Path mentioned, each track has winners. We have overall winners, so lots of prizes up for grabs in gadgets, cash, and credits. Right? Pick a track, see where your particular interest lie in. The last one is one topic that is exclusively for PMs. Right? What we noticed is every global senior PM leader that we chat with, the questions that we get were very, very similar. What is the most important skill for PMs in this coming year or two, right? And unequivocally, I think one thing that has come across is on evals. So one, we have a workshop specifically designed for you guys on just evals. um, Second, if you guys are building anything around this, right, it's going to take, it's probably a track that's slightly niche, but if you guys are building anything around this, it's probably not something that you would be able to do 0 to 1. But for folks who end up picking this track, we have a workshops that designed exclusively for you guys, plus a track. Uh, and yes, of course, we have track prizes for just participating in that track. So check this one out. So these are 4 tracks. Um, our vibe coding track is in fact also the open track. So there might be some questions that you think might come slightly outside of this. All of this comes catch-all in the vibe coding track. Right. Um, are there any questions in the chat part that you think we should take up? I know I was probably focused on the slide, so just checking if there are any questions around this. Some of them
Yeah,
mentioned.
you can check the Q&A section.
My screen is shared, Shreya. So in case you can't see it, maybe you can check it out on YouTube. Um, awesome. I don't see any other questions right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
in general,
There's a
like
question
if you
about.
want, yeah, if you want to find a teammate, use our Slack. Put your Devfolio link and kind of try to find someone who wants to sort of team up with you. Slack should be the place where this can happen very easily, and we've seen in our past hackathons as well.
Awesome. Okay, someone asked why specifically a vibe coding. I think, in all honesty, I think we wanted to see the power of some of these tools, right? So what we're trying to understand is how far along you can come across on it. The other three tracks are definitely open. You can use any amount of code that you want to and participate in any others. Um, Yep. And for folks who are joining in right away, I think you can check out um, the recording on YouTube. I think we will have that live for the next 2 weeks, so you can definitely check out that. Right? Um, awesome. Someone's asking, are there particular problem statements in any of these tracks? Um, there aren't any particular problem statement. These are more open innovation challenges. So you can pick out, the idea is to come in with an idea. These are largely 4 tracks to help you segregate your ideas or to, bucket into one of these groups. But in case you're building something that is across 2 of these tracks, for example, right, if you're using a vibe coding tool and a voice AI product, you could submit it to any one of these tracks wherever you think it's a fit, right? So these are just 4 tracks we picked for this particular. And the best part about this buildathon is we're going to be doing more of these, right? So participate. There's more to figure out how you guys can build amazing products with some of these tools as well. So that's from our end.
I can take one from the Q&A section. Uh,
Yes.
so Samarth asks, do we have to just build a prototype? Just want to confirm the functionality of the end product. So we are not restricting anyone, but of course the winners are gonna be, the ones who sort of have. I mean, functionality is an aspect we'll test when we sort of decide the winners. So fidelity is going to be important, and I don't think there is a reason to not do it. Thinking that these tools that are available, vibe coding and all that, they support this really well. So I would recommend everyone goes for a full-fledged thing.
Awesome. With that, probably I know there's the part that you guys are most excited about. I think we've covered most of the questions. We've walked you through some of what's coming in the next few weeks, and the moment that you guys have already been waiting for. I think. If you have any other questions, maybe folks, I will stick around to as late as you guys want. I'll be around this. I can take questions, but I know some of y'all are very very eager to kickstart this fireside with our guests. So what I will do now is on the chat section. If you guys are ready, please do hit the thumbs up, and we will then bring Arvind on stage for all of you. Okay, awesome. Awesome. See a lot of thumbs up coming in. Give me 1 second and we will bring him on stage. So, Arvind is here backstage with us, uh, and we will bring him live on your screens in just a minute. Awesome, seeing a lot of thumbs up. So the good part is everyone's onboarded. And with that, we have Arvind on stage with us. Arvind, welcome to Mosaic 2025. Thank you so much for being here today.
I'm super excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. We're also, I know it's pretty early in the time zone that you're joining in from, Arvind, as well. So, really appreciate you taking out this time for all of us. We just had, everyone here is super excited, was waiting for you. So we're getting started with this fireside with Arvind. Arvind, just to give you a quick background, there are lots of people, and this is a live session. People are joining in from across the globe. Over the next 2 weeks, we're doing a buildathon at the community, and this is the kickoff session. So over the next 30 to 45 minutes, Parth and me will have a quick fireside with you. We have some interesting questions lined up that our community would love to learn from your experience building this app. Post which we also have a Q&A that some of our members here have posted. So we'll curate some of the best questions that come up. Other folks here will be upvoting, and we'll get started. So that's just a little background into what you can expect over the next 45. Um, Folks, getting this started, I would love to give a quick intro. Arvind is the founder and CEO of Glean, an AI-powered work assistant that brings people the answer they need to be more productive and happier at work. Prior to Glean, Arvind co-founded and led R&D at Rubrik, a publicly traded leader in the data security space. He also spent over a decade at Google as a distinguished engineer, where he led teams on Google's search, maps, and YouTube products. Right, so he's had a very illustrious career. Some of y'all have probably already followed his journey. But over the next 30 minutes, we will be diving a little deeper into some of the questions that we as a community had for him. Arvind, I'll probably just quickly stop sharing so we can see you in full on the screen and kicking this right off. Right. So, Parth, maybe I'd love to kick off the first question. Something that I've always been thinking of, and it's slightly spicy. Ajay, you've probably spent a decade or two, or even more, on the search side things, right? From Google to Rubrik to Glean. I had a question for you. What is the most counterintuitive thing that you've learned on how people actually search for, queries either on consumer knowledge or at work?
Yeah, well, first of all, again, I'm excited to be here. Search, yeah, is the problem that I've been working on for over 2 decades. And some of our learnings, I mean, I don't know if they are counterintuitive, but the number one, nobody has any patience. And you ask a question, you don't have time to actually spell your words correctly. You don't want to actually put in more than 1 or 2 words, and you sort of expect magic to happen. That is one thing that we learned at Google. So people will put in like very, very like short queries, right? You're not actually really asking a long question. In fact, actually, Google didn't even do a good job if you ask it a long question. So the idea for search is that you type in 1 or 2 words, and they may be misspelled, and then you expect magic to happen from search. Also, the users will typically not have the patience to actually go and scan the page when they look at the search results. Like if you're actually trying to serve 10 results, most of the activity, most of the eyeballs and attention is focused on the top 1 or 2 results. So you have to do, like, if you actually want people to like a product, you have to work very hard to make sure that you are able to bring the best information to them, at the very top. So these are, like, obviously, like very simple, obvious things. Um, the but what was like, people have over the last 2 decades have been trained so much to actually not ask questions in real, natural language, which is what is changing now. So with AI does much better if you actually can be a little bit more precise and explain your questions more clearly. And so now we're seeing that behavior shift where people are realizing that, yes, like, if I actually give the system a little bit more information, if I write a full sentence or two, that I'm going to get a better answer. So we're seeing that transition happen right now.
Got it.
Awesome.
Got it.
That's amazing. Arvind, like, I think most of us didn't even know what LLM was when Glean was born. So we want to understand maybe what was the first version of Glean that you made live for your customers, and maybe a follow up for this, like, when was that first aha thing? Typically for product people, it's kind of important where you realize that, hey, this is something valuable to the customer.
Yeah. So the journey of Glean, we started in somewhere about in 2018, and then formally started the company in early 2019. And the like, we have interesting sort of path to it. Like, I mean, this is a pain that I was personally going through myself. And my co-founders, our early team, all of them felt this pain of not being able to find anything at work, really bothering to us. Like, even at Google, where I worked for so many years, and we were in the business of making it easy for people to find things across the world. we were not helping ourselves internally. Like you couldn't find any document inside of Google. And so it's a long-standing problem, like, like something that, I was quite frustrated about for many years. And then in 2018, like, started to think, like, as we actually had, I was running another startup called Rubric at the time. And in our pulse surveys, our employees complained about this problem as well. Like, everybody was saying that, hey, like, look, we have so many different systems and I cannot find anything inside this company. I also don't know who to go and ask for help when I need help. Like in our annual pulse surveys, that was the question that we scored the lowest on. And so at that time, I said, okay, well, if people are not able to find things, like our productivity is dropping. I really wanted to go and fix this problem, and that sort of is what led to starting Glean. And there were actually a few technology trends which I thought made it possible for us to actually build a really good product at the time. One of them was the SaaS transformation, which actually made it
Yep.
really easy for us to go and connect with all of your different enterprise systems seamlessly and build a search product that actually works out of the box. And there was no such thing in the past, and we thought that this would enable us to do that. Of course, cloud, open source, these are like big trends because search requires a lot of infrastructure to be built. Like you have to build scalable systems, and the modern sort of cloud infra technologies actually help you with that. But the biggest breakthrough at the time was actually language models. LLMs were not really something that people would talk about or even knew. Transformers was very much a geeky concept, not a like a household concept like it is now. And but in the search teams at Google, and which is where most of our early members are from, including myself, we were actually already seeing big impact that transformers were making to search technology. Before transformers, Google search was largely a keyword-based search
Yep.
technology. And but we were like, as we started to build these neural networks inside Google, we realized how powerful they were. And in fact, for any part of the search tech stack, you could actually take a model that we had trained and built with 15 years of R&D and engineering, or you could actually just give all the data to these transformers and build another model. And we saw that the transformers would just beat the state of the art. And so we saw there was a big impact coming. Like search would finally become sort of conceptual. You could actually understand people's questions at a semantic level. You could understand your company's data and knowledge at a semantic level, and that we felt would actually really allow you to build an experience like one that had never built before. So those are like just the timing
Yep.
elements of what we thought would actually help us build a great product.
Yeah, awesome. And just so we understand, so with Glean, what we
Mm.
understand, there's a very context heavy knowledge graph that exists on whoever is
Mhm.
kind of using an enterprise.
Yeah.
We understand enterprise search really well, that context is king, so anything with context will reveal like
Yeah.
a better search result. Are there
Yeah.
other directions you're exploring with that knowledge graph apart from just search?
Yeah. Well, so first, like maybe a quick intro to Glean, right? So we think of Glean as a more powerful version of ChatGPT inside your company. You asked the question, like, how did we start? So initially we started as like, we were the Google for your work life. You come to Glean, you ask any questions. We are connected to all of your company's systems, data, knowledge. So any questions that you ask will surface the right information back to you. The product used to look like Google. Now the product actually, looks like a hybrid of Google and
Yep.
ChatGPT, where when you come ask questions, again, we're doing the same thing. We're gonna use all of that company's context, as you said. And then also not just that, but also look at all of the world's knowledge and take users' questions or tasks, and we'll complete them using this context, all of the company's data and knowledge and the power of LLMs, right? So the system has now become more conversational. It's an AI assistant and looks and feels like ChatGPT, just with this extra power of also having all of the company's knowledge and context to help you with your tasks. Now, the in terms of behind the scene to actually power this technology to be able to answer people's questions and complete their day-to-day tasks, we have to actually deeply understand how a business works. We have to like not only understand the who are the different people in the company, what are the different teams, what products does this company build, how do who works on what technical areas, or who works in marketing, who works in sales, sort of understand like what information do different people need. You have to go and build this knowledge graph behind the scenes to be able to truly sort of serve people on a very personalized basis. And so we've been building this knowledge graph over the years, and it's getting deeper and deeper, and ultimately, like the way I would sort of think about describe where we are headed with building this knowledge graph is we're trying to actually bring that collective human intelligence that exists in your enterprise through constant observations in one place. We're
Yep.
looking at how people work. We are looking at when somebody asks questions, other people answer them, or we look at tasks. We try to infer and detect, like, what tasks do people do in a company, and then also look at, their activity, like, where am I going, like, in my technical systems, and in the meetings, like, how are we discussing, solving problems, and you learn from all of that human activity and observations to sort of build this collective, human intelligence in one place. Or you can also think of it as also a collective institutional memory. We actually, keeping track
Yep.
of everything that has ever happened. Now, this is a powerful platform. By building this behind the scenes, we are able to now like smartly help people with AI. When you come with, when you, as a user, you come and ask Glean to do a task for you, we will actually go and look at those past observations that we have. We'll look at, were there somebody else who solved similar tasks in the past, and we'll take all of that context, give it to thinking models, who are that are really, really, good these days, uh, and then like have the thinking model sort of solve that task with all of that additional context. So still, like the first application for us is this our own AI assistant, which actually helps people with their tasks. It's a personal tool. But we realize that this enterprise brain or knowledge graph that we've built behind the scenes is super valuable to not only us, but any other product that actually people use in the enterprise. So one of the things that we have done is we've actually taken a platform approach, and we are exposing this knowledge graph to any other SaaS application, AI application that a business actually uses. So products like Zoom, Miro, Sigma, they all actually use Glean APIs now to tap into this knowledge graph and enterprise context
Okay.
to make AI within their own products actually incredible.
Understood.
So that's one direction that we're taking, like making sure that this enterprise user memory, this personal knowledge graph, is available to all the different products inside your enterprise.
Very interesting. Arvind, documenting your own product, what are some of the most interesting anecdotes that you come across where, using all of Glean's features, um, something interesting that your team has been able to do, which you think probably you might not have been able to do pre-Glean era, right? So maybe at a time in Google or Rubrik. Is there something very interesting that today you can do because of Glean, which wasn't possible before?
Um, so so let's see, like maybe just to make sure I understand your question, what are the new capabilities that Glean is now making available for us, which makes our work
Correct.
better? Is that the question? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
So
mean, like,
mostly,
yeah.
maybe I'll just
Hmm,
add a
hmm,
a point that is like, for example, at Google, you face this challenge that, hey, maybe this data was across the org wasn't accessible. Today, Glean is making that a lot easier. So
yeah,
anecdotally, what's been the most interesting things people have been able to do with this data? Is it
yeah,
clarifying across teams?
yeah.
What are some interesting things you've learned?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think this, like a tool like this, like first of all, when you think about the Glean product, uh, whether we have, we still have long ways to go, but essentially we are actually building magic in some sense. You can like think about our promise. We're saying, well, you can come to Glean, and you can give us, you can ask any question that you have, or you can give us any task that you want to complete, and Glean will use all of the world's knowledge as well as all of your internal company's data and knowledge to actually answer those questions or complete that task for you. Well, I just told you that you don't have to do any work anymore. like, because we do everything for you. So we'll ultimately, we'll get there, like, to that level of capabilities, in the product where, as humans, like, the kind of work that we do today, 90% of that is going to be done by AI, by assistants like Glean. But even before like AI became so big, some of the core things that we get enabled with in Glean are, onboarding, for example, is a big use case. Like, every new person who joins our company, um, they actually self onboard. Um, every question that they have, the instinct inside our company is that they don't come and bother other people with, like, basic questions, how to do things, because when you build a product like Glean, which is connected to all the company's knowledge, those things are now actually AI can actually do those, answer those questions for you. Um, but as AI has gotten powerful, some of the use cases that we do now, which were not possible before. So since we're talking about product building, product managers, they actually work fundamentally differently with Glean now. Before, when you think about, like, hey, your roadmap and what are some of the new features you want to build, typically, you would go to, as an enterprise company, you would go to your top customers, you would conduct some interviews, and from that you'll get some feature requests, and then from, like, maybe 15 or 20 of these calls, you will try to actually summarize, synthesize, and figure out that, hey, like, looks like these are the 5 most important problems that our top customers are asking for, so let's go and build that. And that's all a product manager could really do, in terms of figuring out, like, what are the important things to build. But now, with Glean, uh, the way we actually build our product roadmap is, first we actually go and, in the company we have tens of thousands of customer calls. Those calls are happening every day. Salespeople are talking to prospects and pitching Glean. They're actually, customers are actually making comments. They're telling us about what their needs are, and this information is actually across hundreds of thousands of hours of recording, which were completely not, you couldn't tap into them before. But now you can actually simply ask a question in Glean that, hey, go and look at, those 10,000 customer or prospect calls that we have, and figure out, like, what are all the different things, that customers are interested in, categorize them in certain themes, and give me the top, like, the most cited requests that people have from it. Now, this is an analysis, that would have, like, taken years, for a human to do, but, like, AI can do it in, of course, like, in 10 minutes. And so that's a new capability that we have. So, like, fundamentally, how we build product has changed, with Glean.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Thanks. So, yeah.
interesting.
But you had a
So
question? Yeah.
yeah, Arvind, I think like you created like a novel category, and like people weren't paying for enterprise search in general. So
Mm.
today, how do you think like customers evaluate like the success of Glean in their organization? Because it's pretty horizontal. So let's say I'm paying $100 to you. What am I getting
Yeah,
back eventually? And I think it's pretty hard to evaluate productivity. But
yeah,
how do your customers, let's say Booking.com, looking at Glean and evaluating their ROI?
yeah. That's a great question. Productivity is sort of fuzzy, and so different customers have different mindset to it. Like, number one, there are a lot of leading companies that believe that, Glean is the most fundamental AI product that they need to have and bring, to their employees. Remember, like, in this world of AI today, um, the um, every business, every enterprise is very eager to bring AI into their company. They want to make sure that they modernize their workforce. They want to make sure that every employee inside the company learns how to leverage AI in their day-to-day work. So there is this, massive um, demand and desire for enterprises to actually buy AI products. Now, and Glean, like, when you think about AI products, like, what's the first, product that comes to your mind? It's, ChatGPT. And so businesses want something like that, and they want to give it to your employees. And the only thing that they wish is that, well, if that conversational AI assistant somehow knew everything about your company, and could actually be useful in your day-to-day work for your employees, and that's what Glean is. So that sort of is one way how why people actually buy Glean, is that they see it as the most obvious product that they can bring to every employee and get that AI education to start to happen. So when your mindset is that, you're actually preparing the workforce for the future, your ROI is not measured in terms of like, yeah, specific things, but simply that, well, like, this is, fundamental for education. The second thing, and some other people, then there are other people who think that, well, like, having a great search product is so obvious. Like, when you think about, like, nobody today thinks about the ROI for a product like email
Yeah.
or Zoom, because these are fundamental. We know that we need these things like that: Zoom, Slack, email, right? And so a lot of people actually also think of search and question answering also in
Yeah.
that same category. So that's sort of like, that probably takes care of a third of our customers. Like, they think that way, so they're not
Yeah.
actually even measuring ROI
Yeah.
in a traditional way. But then the others, so one of the biggest things that we do for people is we actually save people a lot of time. We actually help them move fast, and so a lot of businesses actually, that's what they do. They actually look at time savings. Companies conduct their own surveys with their employees, after they're using Glean, and they'll ask the people, like, how much time is Glean saving them on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
And routinely, the answer to that from different surveys across all these companies have come to, like, that we save about 3 to 4 hours of time per employee every
Yeah.
week. And so that sort of then becomes, like, your basis for your ROI calculation. And then finally, I would say the last thing that people also do is, like, productivity is fuzzy, right? Like, even if an employee, says that, well, saving this tool is saving me 3 hours of time or 4 hours of time every week. Uh, how do you sort of translate that to, like, well, did you actually become more productive?
Yeah.
Or did you just start to actually spend less time at work because you can do it faster? So sometimes the CFOs will not be happy with that answer either. Like,
Yeah.
that's not a sufficient way to show ROI. And so that's when you go deeper. And the way we go deep is that, while Glean is horizontal, department by department, we
Yeah.
actually solve very specific problems for people. And I'll just give you one
Yeah.
example. Think about customer support. Customer support teams, they use Glean to resolve cases faster, and they already have metrics, inside the organization to track, time to ticket resolution, time to first response, number of
Yeah.
tickets, an agent can resolve on a daily basis. And as soon as you deploy Glean, like, seen large companies get 40%, 50% uplift in terms of how many cases their customer service reps can resolve on a daily basis. And then that gives you, like, a really hard measure of ROI
Yeah.
that, now, and that actually exists. Like, if you go, function by function, you will then see that there are existing business metrics that Glean moves, and then you can do,
Yeah.
like, a direct ROI calculation.
Yeah. And just like, because the group that has joined loves metrics, so just to follow up to
Mm,
that, what do
mm.
you measure as a product metric of a customer using Glean? Like, which is the most important?
Yeah. For us, it's simply the number one, the most important metric is daily usage, and
Yes.
how often, do people come and use Glean, how many questions they ask on a daily
Yeah.
basis, how many tasks they complete with it. Um, and 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 we don't, like, go really, really deep into it. Like, we don't actually. I think when you build new products, like, I think, like, it's actually, in my opinion, sufficient to actually keep track of the highest level metrics and just see, like, how whether you're moving them,
Yeah.
at a good pace. So for us,
Yeah.
that's our metric.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. Arvind, Parth, and me both have worked across pretty large enterprises, so definitely see this as a huge problem. And we've tested our Glean, so very excited about what you're building. So thanks so much for walking us through that journey and some of the thoughts that you have right now. Just switching tracks, I think as part of the Buildathon, there are a lot of people who are trying to keep up with AI. Right, everything in AI moves so quickly today. New models, APIs, cost every single week, right? And I know you've spoken about this in previous podcasts, but one, how do you keep up with all of it? Two, as a founder or builder, any thoughts, any suggestions on how they can plan out their roadmaps with some things that are moving so quickly around them?
Yeah, luckily, it's not me who has to keep up most of the times. We have a great engineering team who does it. But actually, you're right. I mean, I think the the model of software development, product development has actually changed a lot, since in this new world with AI. It's not only the fact that the underlying models and technologies are changing so fast and you have to constantly rethink. But actually, even the models, even if we actually suddenly stopped seeing progress, in model capabilities, uh, we actually not even explored, 5% of what these models are capable of doing for us. So there's a lot of learning there also. So it is a, it is a it is a time where people have to really, spend a lot of time thinking about what the underlying technology actually provides to them. Now, what we've done at the company to handle this sort of really, really fast moving um, uh, sort of underlying foundation is uh, some actions. For example, we used to plan our product roadmap um, primarily on a yearly basis, and then we will set up quarterly goals and revisit the roadmap every quarter to make some updates to it. And now in this new world, it's too slow. You can't do that. And so it's sort of we've actually thrown away all of those practices of product planning, and instead we actually just do planning at a monthly level. Every month we decide what are some of the things we need to do, and then the team actually goes and work on it. And so that's just you have to change the cadence, you have to change how fast you move. Second thing, and this is very hard for product people, for engineering, for engineers, is you have to actually be ready. You have to be ready to throw um, uh, uh, you have to be ready to throw away things that you build. You get attached to products and code you write, you want it to stay alive for a long time, and that's no longer the right thing to do. Everything that you build, most likely is going to get obsolete in 2 months time, and you have to redo it, throw away what you have. So so how do you make that, how do you get that to happen? It was not easy for us. I would often get um whenever I would actually ask people that, okay, well, this component, is there a better way to do it now? And our teams would actually often say that no, what we've done is pretty good, and they would not actively seek out what has changed outside, which requires them to change it. So we actually formalize that process, and now we every month, when we do our planning, the planning is not just about what are the new things we're going to be building. The planning explicitly includes what are the things that we're going to actually throw away from our code base. And that's sort of one way to stay modern, is to actually be honest and know that whatever you're building is also becoming obsolete very quickly.
Yeah, I think that's a very interesting point, Arvind. Thanks for sharing that. Um, Arvind, I know you have a hard stop in a couple of minutes, so I want to take some of the questions that we have on the chat here, and post which I think Parth has a really interesting section that he does called the Big Bet, which is what we want to hear about. And then I have a quick lightning round, a very quick rapid fire for you. I think one question that I found very interesting on the Q&A tab, which is also highly upvoted, is in the AI world, there are so many models that are coming through. I think you've spoken about this slightly earlier, that maybe there will be smaller models that will be domain specific. Is there a rule of
Mhm.
thumb on, how do you choose which one to use where, or is there a process of experimentation that you found particularly useful that you could suggest to the audience joining in here today?
Yeah, so if you're a startup trying to build a new product, um, my advice to everyone is that don't spend too much time trying to think about like what uh, what model to use for your use case. In the initial mode, it's better to use the largest, the foundation models, that Google or Anthropic or OpenAI publish. The biggest models typically are the smartest. They can be slow, but that doesn't matter. When you're building your initial use cases, you want the best intelligence, behind them. And so like when we build new features, that's our approach. We never actually start with an optimized smaller model to prove, building out that feature. Instead, we actually just take the best state-of-the-art model, and we make the use case work with it. And once the use case works with it, then we can actually think about, okay, well, how are we going to scale it? How are we going to make it faster at the same level of quality? So that's the approach that we choose. For to our own customers, we do help them, like, or there's also, like, for different use cases, different models are emerging and proving to be better. And so these are sort of well-known things, like, like what's the best model for coding, what's the best model for reasoning, and for personalized writing. And so you can, for high-level use cases, you kind of like have a consensus building out there. But the key point is that yes, like as building a startup or even as building a product, like you have to make sure that you do consider different models, um, and that's where evaluation actually becomes super important. Like you have to set up your evaluation framework. I mean, there are products now, of course, that you can both in open source and closed domain, that you can buy to set up like evaluation for whatever system you're building, so that on a daily basis you can track model progress and what models are doing better on your use case, and then use that the results from that eval to automatically like uh, you know fix the model choice in your production systems.
Yeah,
Super,
super.
very interesting.
So, Arvind, I was listening to one of your podcasts, and you sort of mentioned that i- in a very short term future, everyone will have like an assistant, a team of executive coaches
Mhm.
in their workflows. And if I like go a few years back, I think just factual search was pretty much Google. Now it's pretty much ChatGPT or like agentic first.
Yeah.
What is that one workflow which is gonna be like very agent driven in like 12 months time according to you, and which you are also sort of keeping an eye on?
Well, I mean, I think it depends on people and their roles, but fundamentally, um, like one thing that's going to change with AI in the next 12 months is that it's going to become more proactive. Today, AI technologies are largely reactive. You think about ChatGPT or think about Glean. Most of the times, the system is passive and you go to that tool when you have a question, when you have a need, when you're trying to solve a task. And then, of course, these AI chatbots or the models will do a great job and help you with your task. Um, the but like in 12 months from now, and this is what we are also working on very actively, AI will actually start to come to you a lot more than than it, like today, of course, it doesn't come to you at all. What I mean by that is that every person, um, like when we work, we're going to have this companion, a personal companion, that is actually moving with us wherever we go. Um, this companion is always with you. Um, you may be having a conversation at the water cooler, or you may be in a meeting. It listens to every word that you speak. It listens to every word that you hear. It's with you in the systems where you work. It looks at um, the emails that you read and send. It looks at documents that you write, questions that you answer. It's keeping track of your quarterly goals and objectives. It looks at your calendar to see, like, what you need to do, today and this week.
Yep.
And then, like, when AI sort of becomes so personal and is with you and has such a deep understanding of you and your work life and your goals and objectives, now it sort of changes its, the way it delivers value to you. Um, it actually becomes proactive, and starts to actually take care of most of the tasks that you have. Like, it'll do it for you. Like it'll and initially, like, it won't be that it's just silently doing it for you, because you also
Yeah.
need to learn how to do those things. So maybe it'll do those things or do part of the work and keep it ready for you to review so that you can move faster with it. And so that's the world that we are. That's when, like, the big leverage of AI is going to come, when it actually truly becomes proactive and like become like so close to you, and you don't even feel at that point that you work alone. Like, regardless of whether you're a new college graduate, you work alone in terms of there's no other person that you know uh, is with you when you're deeply doing your work. But that changes, and, like, the AI sort of is always with you, helping you.
Yeah,
Very
so
interesting.
reactive to proactive, I think we'll see.
Mhm.
Sus, we want to go to the lightning round.
Yes, I think Arvind brings us to the last section where we throw a couple of interesting questions your way. I think
Yeah.
for this particular edition, I think Parth has one, I have one, and then we'll pick one from the chat section here. So three questions,
Yeah,
three interesting ones coming your way. Parth, in case you want to kick it off, and I'll
yeah.
come back with that.
So, Arvind, we noticed that you have roots in India, and you
Mhm.
sort of spend a lot of time there. And so, our community was born in India, and then went global. And a lot of people who have joined today are sort of from there. Uh,
Yeah.
would love to sort of have some takeaways on how can our community take advantage of this AI wave and leverage not just the tools, but just get signals that you sort of look in people who are sort of joining Glean today. So if you can help us with that.
Yeah. Well, sorry, I didn't understand. Is there a question for me there?
Yeah,
Like,
the question
so,
is
yeah.
any advice to our community on
Mm.
how community members can take advantage from in the current AI wave, and maybe also a bit around what sort of signals you look in people uh, when you hire at Glean today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, Arvind, just maybe to give a little bit more context into that, is I've been spending the last couple of months in the Bay Area, and before that, a lot
Mm.
of time in India. One thing is for
Yeah.
sure is the level of access, the speed at which things seem to be moving. You spent 3 decades here building products out of the Bay Area. It at least from a perspective, it seems like things are moving a lot faster here. So I think
Yeah.
tactically, what Parth is trying to ask here is just from an ecosystem perspective. Imagine if there is a 27-year-old builder who's joining in from India or Asia onto this chat. They track this entire ecosystem from Twitter, from the news. But having spent time here across and building out some amazing product, do you have maybe 2-3 tactical things that you like to share with young builders on how they can keep up and build
Yeah.
products just like how it's built here in the valley?
Yeah. Well, I mean, so first, I think AI is making things, a lot easier for all of us in many different ways. So, in terms of like keeping up with, what's happening in Silicon Valley, what are the new startups, what are the best companies? Well, I mean, like, write some agent that, like, goes and does that, hunting for you on a daily basis and creates, a report, like, that is the way you like to consume it. And it's very easy to sort of get that going. There are like exciting newsletters to subscribe to podcasts, and that's sort of how you, like, we live in a global world. I mean, I think your access is no different regardless of where you are, compared to any access that people have in Silicon Valley. I mean, that's the benefit of the internet. That's the benefit of the connected world. So that's the first thing. Like, nobody should feel that they don't have access to information that people here have. Um, the the second thing I would say is, I mean, the Indian community is, of course, very, very, very strong. As you said, like, I grew up in India as well, and I came here to work a few decades back. The We have always, and actually, the the talent availability in India is just, phenomenal. And um, from for me, like, I've been working in this model of joint teams where, um, starting with Google, where I started, helped start Google India in 2005. And we've sort of had this sort of shared, collaboration model where any team that we build, we actually have half of the team in Bangalore, and then the other half in Silicon Valley. That's how we've done done the work like at Google now, then Ruprik, and now at Glean. Like, we have a lot of people in our Bangalore office. Um, and so when you are like, if you are a 27-year-old entrepreneur thinking about starting a company, that's one thing that you could actually think about, which is that, well, collaborate with somebody who is in Silicon Valley, and together build operations where you leverage the best of both locations. There's amazing talent available, tech talent that's we have in India. There is more market understanding and enterprise needs, that like having somebody here can actually help um, uh, develop a more like a better sense of the US market itself. And so that sort of, we've seen some startups that get built that way, where the initial team itself is split across these two different locations. So that's a good idea to explore through your personal networks. Um, and um, and then, like, besides that, I guess what is the um like my advice to people, like, is that right now is the time to really think entrepreneurial. Think about AI is going to actually change everything. Any type of work um in any domain is fundamentally going to be redefined with AI. And so if you're interested um, in becoming an entrepreneur, uh, build new products, then just keep your eyes and ear open. Like, look at every piece of work that touches you in your work life, or your personal life, and just keep reimagining. Like, that, hey, well, how could that be done differently with the power of AI? And it'll sort of like have bring tons and tons of ideas to you in terms of um, like building new companies with it. So that would be some of my sort of thoughts on it.
Awesome. Well, thanks, yeah. Thanks, Arvind. Just probably picking one last question from, it's probably
Hmm.
one of the most upvoted here, is
Mm.
apart from Glean, what is Arvind's personal AI go-to daily stack? So what are some tools that you use on a daily basis, of course, apart from Glean?
Yeah, so for me, Glean is the number one. I work a lot, like work all the time, and so and that's a very effective tool for me. Other than that, right now, I'm also I also use ChatGPT quite a bit, and then Gemini to some extent. Google, of course, is actually, well, like, to think about it, like, Google's probably the second one after Clean that I use the most. And most of my AI usage is actually still focused on uh, you know question answering, or like getting some initial task done. Like, I use these tools like Glean or ChatGPT to actually write some code for me, build some systems. Um, I'm learning a few more that are like getting traction, trying to learn how to use them. Like, one of them being Lovable. Like, see if I can actually go and start building some applications without actually being trying to be an engineer. So that's another one that I'm trying to learn right now.
Oh, nice. No,
Have
that's
you gotten
interesting.
yourself into vibe coding yet?
I
Have you
actually,
gotten?
well,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm trying to, like, I'm not finding it easy. Like, so I'm actually, like, maybe I'm even behind in terms of my engineering capabilities. The so right, yeah, like, it's interesting actually. Like, see, you can get actually, you can get code written. For me, the harder part is that, okay, well, what do you do with that code now? And like, I don't have time to actually go set up environments to figure out how to run it. And so I think for me, like, the more effective thing would be, like, if I can just speak, what I need, and the application just automatically gets built for me. Like, I don't have time to sort of take the code and set it up somewhere.
Yeah.
So not yet for me. Like, but I'm getting there. Actually, like, it's a great question that we all need to sort of do that a little bit. Not vibe coding, but like, at least use these systems a lot. Um,
Yeah.
and try to become a little bit more self-reliant, because as a CEO, you can easily become paralyzed, like, because
Yeah.
everything that you need to do, like, there's somebody who's going to help you do it, and very quickly you basically forget how to do anything yourself, and and
Yeah.
then and then it becomes a frustrating job for you, like, questions you have, you just don't get answers quickly for them because you don't have any ability on your own to actually get those answers. So that's what I'm doing right now. Is my focus is how do I actually look at all the data that we have, and be able to play with it and get answers to my questions. Like any strategic questions I have, I want to be able to actually use AI to bring the best answers to me for them.
Awesome.
Arvind, very, very interesting. And that is the exact point of the Buildathon as well. We're going to be playing around with a lot of these tools. So we will report back. We're trying a couple of alternatives to Lovable as well. And maybe we'll shoot you a link. In case you end up building something externally, you could submit it to our Buildathon as well. We'd love to see what you end up building. I know you probably won't have the time for this, but we'll definitely all follow your journey. And in case you end up, sharing some of these on your socials, we'd love to see what you end up by putting. But Arvind, thank you so much for your time today. This was really, really interesting. Couldn't have asked for a better kickoff to the Buildathon. And, listening to your entire journey, seeing, all the cool stuff that you guys have been building and growing, right from your days at Google to then the journey with Rubrik and now at Glean. Super inspiring. And thank you once again for joining us today. We will probably continue. We have a couple of more updates for the community, but Parth will join you backstage for a minute or two before you log off. So thank you once again for joining us today. There are already lots of ideas that people have shared about Glean on chat. So maybe I'll take a dump and share it with you in case you want to go through. Thanks once again for joining us today.
Yeah, I would love to go through them. There were so many questions here for me, which I couldn't because I answer, but I will take a look at them as well. And thank you for having me. This was a blast, and good luck with the Buildathon.
Awesome. Thanks again.
Thank you.
But maybe you could carry on backstage with Arvind. I will probably continue just giving our community a couple of updates. Awesome. Just give us a second. Awesome, folks. Hope you enjoyed this. I will probably spend a little bit more time with all of y'all as promised. I know you have a lot of questions. I was going through the Q&A tab as well. So a couple of these questions, a couple of feedback. I wish we had more time with him, but unfortunately we had only an hour blocked on this session. But I think it is very, very interesting on some of the insights we found. What I will do is also collate some of the learnings that we had from the chat section around Glean. Some of you had feedback, some of you had more questions. I'll try collating that and sharing it with Arvind. And if there is enough interest, maybe we'll request some more of his time midway through, or maybe bring him back for our closing, right? If that was interesting, please do drop feedback on chat and we'll share that with his team. Maybe if he sees enough from the community, he'll definitely join us back. All right. With that, I have a single slide that I think I'd love to share with you all before you drop off. Okay, I think already shared with you what's coming. Over the next 5-10 minutes, I will still hang around. I know some of y'all might have to drop off. If y'all have any more questions, please, one, drop it on the chat section. I will take it up. Second, if y'all have any feedback for Arvind, if y'all did enjoy the session, feel free to take screenshots from the recording on YouTube, posting about it, tag him for sure, and we'll share that with him and his team. We'll collate all of that and we'll share it with him, right? He is definitely interested to check out more about what you guys are building as well. And I think someone asked about is Glean hiring in other places? I think you can definitely check their growing presence. I think Arvind did touch upon that in his conversation as well. But almost half the team is being built in Bangalore in India, right? Awesome. Taking up some of these questions. Thank you, TPF. Our pleasure. Lots of interesting things about the session. Mary asks what are the instructions and the tracks. Maybe you could check the website and the Devfolio link that gives you an access to the tracks, and everything else is join the pinned. If you check the pinned section on Airmeet or on YouTube, you'll find a link to one Devfolio and to the Slack, so you can join, right? Lokesh will give up access to all the premium version of all the AI tools. Okay, so as you get on to Devfolio, you'll realize part by part you'll get access to some of the tools, right? With Windsurf already accessible on the platform. Tomorrow we'll have 11 labs also accessible to all of you, through which you can build a lot of these. post which, as you progress, some of y'all will get access to Rocket. So it's all stages. All of y'all need to be active, more and more active. You're in the community. It is not all going to be accessible on day one, right? All of these are going to come as we progress through the challenges, right? So each of these are sessions that are coming up. Attend the sessions and we'll share more updates about that particular tool on that particular session, right? Awesome, exciting kickoff. Great getting Arvind. Yes, was tough getting his time, but was amazing that he could join us today. What are some other questions? Parth, if you see any other questions here, yes, we're sharing a screen where you can see the tracks and second, all the sessions that are lined up. We will also do one thing. We will sneak in a group office hours in the middle, and we'll send you more details on the Slack. So what we will do is, if you have any more questions, we're always there async to help you on the community. But you've all seen the volume. So if there is any other questions that you'll have, feel free to join the office hours, and Parth and me will be around to help you, or someone with the team will be helping. Right. Someone asked for a high-level 14-day roadmap. I think it's on your screen right now. What are the tracks again? Parth, if you could go a screen back, we could show them what the tracks are. On team formation, you can join the Slack link. We will start a thread there where you can reply, asking, and meet other people who you can build with. For Windsurf, you could join Devfolio and you will get updates on the credits there. Also, for team formation, if you are already in Devfolio, there is an option to find teammates there as well, right? So in case some of y'all are facing some errors to join Slack, there is an option on Devfolio to find the team as well, right? Awesome. I think I've gotten through all the questions. Let me know if you have any more questions. I know it's been a long one, but it's an exciting kickoff. I hope everyone's up to speed now. Again, going back to the checklist, there are 4 main things that you need to do for today. Parth, in case you can go back to the checklist. Back. Yeah. So 4 main things. 1, try joining the Slack link. If not, bookmark the link and you will be able to access it in a bit. Second, if you haven't already, register in Devfolio. That should give you access to a lot more things. Also, that is our primary Buildathon platform. Airmeet is our primary platform through which you can access some of these sessions. If you miss out, please go subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you can catch up on the recordings. They will be available only for 2 weeks as part of the Buildathon. Post which it will be available on the Academy. Third, we've already shared a couple of pre-reads on email, but in case you haven't seen them, we will share them again on the Slack chat link once you guys all join in. Lastly, some of these emails might not be landing in your primary, so please search for the product folks and move all your emails to primary so that you don't miss out on any others, right? With that, we come to the end of the kickoff. It is only the beginning. There's lots and lots of more exciting stuff coming for all of you. Like Arvind shared, I think this is the new wave. All of us, regardless of what we've learned over the years, it is time to start building. And this is probably one of our initial starts in this moment, right? So think about it. Lots and lots of interesting things coming your way. For people who haven't attended any of our previous ones, this probably could seem like a lot is going on. Don't worry about it. You'll all get a hang of it. But I can assure you that the next 2 weeks is going to be very, very exciting. I'm personally looking forward to seeing all of what you guys build. Prizes, workshops aside, I think I'm very interested to see how you guys play around with these tools. Parth and I are also experimenting, building our own stuff. So we'll share that with you as we go along. We're also going to be participating in this with you. So yes, join us on this journey. We'll join you too. And if you have any other questions, stick around. We will keep a specific session on just office hours, maybe later this week or maybe midway through the session. If you have any questions around the platforms, around the challenge, anything, feel free to reach out to us at any point in time. Right? Awesome. Parth, anything else that we're missing? If not, we can probably wrap this up.
No, folks, good luck, and hope we get some great outcomes out of this. Everyone is looking forward to the projects that come out here. So excited.
Awesome, folks. Really excited about everything you're about, you guys.
So yeah, bye.